everybody, thank you so much for joining me today as we make some tone-on-tone cards. With the scraps from the first card, we are going to be making our second two cards. So I hope you'll enjoy this video and the projects that we make and that you'll be inspired. Starting off with this paper stack from Michaels. I like these paper stacks because I don't have to have a ton of different cardstocks on hand, but I get a good variety of colors, and they're not too expensive. And I'm going to be using these Spellbinders arch dies for my card today, and I'm cutting them in different sizes. So each one of these is in different sizes, and being able to layer them like that gives a good effect. Here's where I start off using the scraps. So you can see I cut off the little hanging tag portion of the papers, and I'm using those to cut out leaves that I'm then going to use to embellish my card with. So each of those I'm able to get 2 leaves out of, and then I have them that match the different colors of the paper. As I'm attaching these leaves to my image, I'm doing it in layers so that it gives a nice effect. I also want to remind you about the giveaway that I'm having that is going until November 15th or until I hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to be giving away a Spellbinders advent calendar and a glue press and a bundle of stamps and dies. So be sure to check out the video down below for the giveaway and all you need to enter, and I wish you good luck. I love using small foliage dies to add nice accents. I find that they go with really just about anything. Now yellow is a complementary color to purple, so I decided to use the Simon Hurley Lunar Paste, which is one of my absolute favorites. I love this one. It's yellow, but I think it's called like traffic cone, but it's really more of a gold color. And I'm just putting that on the edges of the leaves just to give it a little extra gilding. Now I'm going ahead and I'm cutting out a foam panel, and I like foam panels better than foam tape. I find them more economical and easier to use, especially they have the sticky side on one side. And I'm putting that with the leaves in between. And now I'm going to add other embellishments that I had. These ones are from Stampin' Up! I just got on a clearance sale. They're nice and gold as well, and so just putting those in between. So I'm going to have 4 layers of those arch dies cutouts, and they're going to be layered together, and so I think it gives a nice effect with the complementary colors, and then the tone-on-tone colors, and then the yellow kind of gold just puts it all together and gives it a nice finishing touch. And it's hard to see on the video, but that is kind of shiny and shimmery, and you know me, I love shiny, shimmery things. The sentiment I'm going to be using, and using my stamp press here to stamp it onto the panel, is just one that I got actually today at the thrift store. It's an old Stampin' Up! Set, and it's just a sympathy expression. You can also find the link to the inks and the embossing powder that I'm using in the description down below. This card base is just one that I had in my stash. It was pre-cut, and that dark purple just adds more of that tone-on-tone feel to the card. I thought I did need a little bit more color, so I decided to add this panel on the back, just cutting it with my A2 dies there from Spellbinders. And now I'm going ahead and making an interior panel for an interior sentiment. This is one of the Betterpress plates. This says "Always in my thoughts." It's just a really elegant sentiment, and I always like having an interior sentiment as well. Now just putting it all together, and there is my first card done. Now the funny thing is, I set out to make this particular card, and as I was making it, I decided to go ahead and use the scraps and see what I could do, what might inspire me. And the funny thing is, I actually like the cards that I made from the scraps even better than this original card, which is the card that I set out to make. Now these are all the scraps from when I cut down my panels to make an A2 size card. And I'm not worried at all about the distance between these or getting it exactly perfect. I think that's part of the charm, just kind of randomly putting these scraps here. And so we continue that tone-on-tone theme, and there's no rhyme or reason to this. They're different sizes. They're not adhered perfectly. Now I'm going to do like a mixed media effect with these. I'm going to take some random stencils that I have. I don't even know what brand these stencils are, but I just found them in my stash, and so we have these kind of leafy, wavy ones. I have some flowered ones. The inks I'm using are just ones that I had from kits from, I think, Hero Arts, and I think one of them might have been Simon Says Stamp. And I'm just using random stamps that I have, some with words on them. There's a little poem, some with music notes. I'm also just using different flowered stamps with different textures, and I'm using embossing powder on those, so that gives it a nice sparkle and shine. You know me, I love my shine and sparkle. And that tone-on-tone effect, I think, gives it a really nice subtle look. If I'd used different colors, I think it could have been overpowering with all the different stencils and stamps that I used, but tone on tone, it looks like it goes together and it blends nicely and it just gives a nice effect. Now I'm going ahead and using an embossing folder from Spellbinders. This has flowers on it, and I'm going to cut out a circle. I've already cut out a circle out of vellum. These are Spellbinders dies, and I'm going to go ahead and use these flowered butterflies that I have used in so many cards. They're my absolute favorite. I bought so many of them. They look really realistic and really elegant looking, and they just make a really great focal point for a card. I'm propping up the circles that I die cut out of vellum and out of that paper that I embossed, and the thing about the vellum is that you do have to cover up whatever it is that you're adhering it to, so having that other die cut circle really helps with that. Now putting the finishing touch, I always put on my cards, handmade by Stephanie, and just putting all the pieces together, just adhering this to just a plain white card base. And there it is. There's my first finished card from just the scraps, and you can see all the detail there that comes through. I just love it. Now on to our third card with the scraps. These are the pieces left over from when I cut out the arches from the first card. Now, I did not do this very precisely. If I had thought this through and thought that I might be using these, maybe I would have. But you'll see that the pieces don't all line up if I were to put them all just together. So what I'm doing is that I'm lining it up from the back so that the pieces can all be seen as you're looking through that archway. What that means, though, is that I did have to cut it down so that the pieces that are hanging over aren't visible. But that's easy enough to do. I'm just using an A2 die as the guide to make some lines, and then I just cut those out off screen. The panel I'm going to be adhering this archway to is also just a scrap. It was a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbooking paper, and I had cut it down, and this was one of the leftover pieces from a card I made a long time ago. So I always keep all of these scraps and always reuse them. Now I'm just using a foam panel that I cut down to make strips, and it's actually the leftover pieces from the previous card that I made, always using all the extra pieces. And I'm just using that to prop that up, just to give it a little more dimension onto that piece there. This is my stash of pre-made sentiments, and I found some sentiments that I liked. These are from a glimmer plate from Spellbinders. This is actually no longer being sold, but I did accidentally get an extra one, so I am going to be putting that in the giveaway that I'm going to be having. So be sure to go and enter that giveaway. It's going to be a good one. I'm just propping these sentiments up on some foam tape. And then I'm going to be using these stickers that I got from the Dollar Tree. I love the Dollar Tree stickers and embellishments. And I think those complementary colors, again the yellow, go really well and just give it a nice little added point of interest on the card. Now I'm just going ahead and I'm going to put all of the pieces together, glue the panel onto a plain white card base. And then of course I've got to add some gems to it. These are my favorite gems. These are nail art gems, and they're really tiny, and so they're really subtle, which is why I like them so much, and these are my go-to, and the link for those is down in the description of this video. So there it is for you. There is card number 3 all done. And the funny thing again, I do think I like this one better than the first card I made. So what do you guys think? Which of these cards was your favorite? Did you like these tone-on-tone cards using the scraps? What kinds of things do you guys make with your scraps? I'd love to know. Drop me a note down in the comments. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you found it inspiring. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.